My body learns through repetition. What is my body learning from the things I do on a daily basis? Hi, my name is Regina, and I am with Calm Confident Woman. And today I'm going to take us through a simple, very gentle yoga practice to help us learn more about calm in our bodies and how to pause and actually honor and respect ourselves. So join me. We'll start on our mats. You can be on um, a large beach towel or a blanket, anything of that nature. I just got things popping up on my screen. I'm not sure what it wants me to do there. Oh, let's just keep going. All right, so join me in a seated posture, if you will. And this can be crisscross like I'm doing here, but it could also be sitting up on a block. In fact, I'll just show you a couple of nice quick options. You can grab a block or a couple of cushions, or if you have yoga bolsters, you could use those, a meditation cushion, but it could also be some pillows from around the house. All right, so I'll just go ahead and stay here. And this elevates the hips, makes the low back more comfortable, and gives room for the knees and the hips. So if you are here and you feel like you need support under your legs, then grab something, place it under there, give yourself some support, make yourself comfortable. All right, and then as we come into seated, I encourage you to sit nice and tall with the ears over the shoulders over the hips, as much as your body is able. And then maybe soften the gaze down, begin to follow your natural breaths. We're not trying to change anything here. We're just following the natural inhale. Notice where it lands. Follow the exhale. Feel the body soften and release as your breath subsides. Taking a pause on our mat, in our practice, or in our everyday lives goes a long way in helping the nervous system to manage whatever is going on in life. So I encourage you to ask yourself as you pause here with your breath, who do you want to become more of next year? Not what do you want to become or accomplish, but who do you want to become more of? Or how can you become more of who you are destined to be? So maybe there are some qualities you would like to manifest more of in your life. It could be calm and confidence. It could just as readily be patience, strength, maybe feeling rested. But any quality that you would like to manifest more of in your life. And then once you know what that is, the more you practice it, not perfect it, practice it, then the more it becomes a natural part of who you are and how you manage life. So I invite you now to take one hand over your abdomen and one over your heart. And as you next breathe in, let the breath expand into your hands. Feel the body release the exhale. And as you pause here with your breath, if it feels right for you, silently remind yourself, I am safe. Or maybe it's more appropriate for you to say, I am safe enough. Another option, I am safe in this moment. So find one that works for you. As you breathe in, remind yourself, I am safe. As you breathe out, Allow yourself to surrender into this moment. I am safe. I surrender to this moment. And then you can bring some little movement to your fingers and your toes, maybe your wrists. And then we'll bring the body over onto our hands and knees. So as we do this, I like to have blocks under my hands. It just makes my shoulders more comfortable, but you don't have to. And if you don't have yoga blocks, don't worry about it. If you do want something under there to get that elevation for your shoulders, then maybe a couple of books that are about the same thickness. You definitely want them to be equal. And then we'll inhale, let the belly release, lift the tailbone, open the chest, and extend through the crown of your head. Now notice I'm not lifting the chin, I'm just extending through the neck. And then as we exhale, we'll lift the center of the spine skyward. This will lower the tailbone and the crown toward earth. As we inhale, roll from tailbone through the spine, out the crown of the head, belly lowers. And on the exhale, we lift the center of the spine. So these small moves through the spine help us to think about, and you can keep flowing through the spine. These small moves help us to think about the small choices and the small changes that we can make on a daily basis. Knowing that making the lasting changes and becoming more of who we are destined to be and who we are on this earth to be doesn't come from one perfect day. It's going to come from these tiny decisions that accumulate. And take one more little flow through the spine. And exhale into your cat pose. And then we'll inhale back to neutral. Take a pause here. Pause is so important for the nervous system. And as you take your pause, just notice. Notice the palms of the hands, the spread of the fingers, the anchoring of the hands, the strength of your arms and shoulders, the stability of your core, anything at all. And then I invite you to draw navel towards spine and step your right foot forward. As you step your right foot forward, take a little floss of your sciatic joint. So from the side, it looks like this. We're going to ease the hips forward and then guide them back. So this is flossing the sciatic joint, which is known for some people, the sciatic nerve gets caught in that joint and then it hurts. And it can send pain all the way down the glute and the leg. So come into this low lunge when you feel like you've flossed the joint enough. And if you don't have blocks, maybe you have some hand weights, some dumbbells that you could use on end if need be to kind of give you some lift and extension. And what we're doing here is we're breathing as deeply as you're comfortable with, hopefully down toward the low belly. And this will help create an expansion that opens the front of your left hip and creates space. And then as we exhale, we let the body soften into that space. Now, it's important, if it's available, that you have your heel all the way down. If it's elevated, then grab something of thickness that you need that you can slide underneath there. So that could be a folded towel, it could be washcloth, it could be if you have an eye pillow, whatever might work for you. All right, so let's take another few slow, steady breaths here. And if you're a beginner to yoga or a beginner to the concept of becoming more fully who you are here to be, then cut yourself some slack. And if you're not a newbie, if you're not a beginner, still cut yourself some slack. But often when I'm teaching and I have somebody who's in class for the first time or their first few times, they're very apologetic about their stiffness, their lack of knowledge, their range of motion, any number of reasons that they're apologetic. So let's go ahead and exhale the hips back and bring the right knee back underneath you. And then we'll step your left foot forward. And we'll take that same flossing action. So I just want to encourage you that instead of feeling like you have to already know all there is to know about yoga, which I don't know if there's anybody who really knows everything there is to know about yoga. You can gain experience by showing up again and again, but to know all, I'm not so confident in that. So anyway, to let go of that beginner's apologetic mindset, just invite yourself to understand and to recognize that every great story has a beginning, right? You pick up your favorite novel or self-help book or whatever it is, linger here. There's a beginning, and then you'll have the story, the middle, and you'll have the end. Well, for me anyway, yoga isn't going to end until my life has expired. So I have found so much value in it. I know that it will continue to serve me well as the years pass. So instead of being apologetic, just recognize this is your beginning, this is your story, where it's starting out, and just continue to show up and continue to write that story. I celebrate you for being here today, for making yourself a priority, for beginning. And then guide the navel toward the spine, a little lift in your pelvic floor. These are areas we refer to as bandhas, but a little engagement there. As you exhale your hips back and you bring your knee back underneath you and take a little shift and wiggle through your hips. And then move your feet over to one side and bring your sitting bones down. And as you do, go ahead and allow your legs to move out in front of you. You can keep your blocks or whatever you might be using. Shift and wiggle, come forward of the sitting bones. The pelvis has a slight tilt forward. So from the side, when we are just letting the body slouch, watch my low back. So when we slouch, the low back starts to round out. When we sit tall and we engage the abdominals, this becomes long. So here's slouched and extended. And we want that extension. That's where we're going to keep our bodies safe and protect our backs. Right? Now, if keeping the legs long in front of you is not comfortable, you are welcome to bend your knees, even so much that you put some kind of prop. Could be blocks, could be a rolled or folded blanket, whatever works for you. Sit up nice and tall. And then this might be where you stay, especially if your spine has a curve to it, right? If it looks more like the letter C instead of a letter L or I, then stay right here. But if your body allows, then maybe you extend from hip creases, not the waist, hip creases to ease the body forward. And then we find something to support us and we stay. Take a few natural breaths. And each exhale, let go. So letting go of thoughts that hold you hostage, letting go of what we have thought we needed to be, letting go of any old beliefs or experiences that are still holding you hostage. So the more we're able to let go of the old, the more room we make for the new, and the healthier that we will be. And the more we're able to let go of the old stories and expectations, even the old versions of ourselves, the less stress we will carry, the easier it will be to be calm and to be confident. Allow yourself 3 more slow, unhurried breaths in your forward fold. And then we'll slowly inhale our bodies back up, right? Take just a second at the top, feel into your body, notice whatever it's communicating, and do so with kindness and grace as much as possible, and not the judgments that for most of us are naturally there. And then take a little movement and ease your body back over to your hands and knees. So you can just sweep your feet to one side, bring the knees underneath you and hands underneath you. And from here, we're going to step 1 foot forward and then the next. And we'll be in a little half lift. And then we'll forward fold. And then we'll press down into our feet, reach our arms out wide. And as we inhale, bring the body all the way up, 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 up. Let the hands sweep all the way overhead. And then exhale, hands all the way down to heart. And come to stand in Tadasana. Tadasana. So with Tadasana, this is also known as mountain pose. We want to feel the ground under the 4 points of the foot, or some people like to refer to a triangle. So the center of the heel and then under the large toe and the pinky toe. So find your roots, maybe wiggle your toes, let them soften down. Little lift in the pelvic floor and belly, shoulders down your back, and arms nice and long beside you. This is mountain pose. So as you pause in mountain pose, I just invite you to maybe close your eyes and enjoy being in this moment of stillness. And visualize or think about a tree, either in your yard or your park, or just a tree from a book. Just visualize a tree. And think about the root system, how the roots grow deep into the earth. But maybe something we don't think about if we don't have experience working with trees and their root system is that when you have multiple trees in a space, their roots intermingle, they connect, they communicate with each other. And just like trees and their roots connect and intermingle and have community with one another, we can have community together on our mats and in our practices. Community helps us to heal. Yes, we can heal on our own, but there's also a healing that happens when we intermingle, we connect, and we have community with others. And so all of that I just shared with you was everything I was thinking about with a tree while I have you standing in mountain pose. And I fully meant to put us in tree pose to cover that analogy with you. So let's go ahead and just experience a little tree pose while you think about those thoughts. So we'll take the weight into the left leg, and we want to be mindful that we're not letting the hip press out. So we want to stay nice and tall and lift up out of the hips. And then we'll peel the right heel from the floor. And this might be enough to help you start to feel a little imbalanced. If you need to, place yourself next to a wall or a counter or some kind of a solid chair, something that's stable and isn't going to move. And then if you're able, lift the knee all the way, right? This might be your beginning of tree pose. That might be the beginning of your story. This might be the beginning of your story. Having a block under the ball of the foot might be the beginning of your story. Find your beginning, right? So still tall and strong in the hip, not dumping into it. And then if your story continues and you're able, open the leg, connect at the ankle with a calf. I'm not sure I can do that here today, or the inner thigh. So once you're there, and wobbling is a part of, growing, right? Trees move with the wind, right? So just check that hip again, make sure it's still tucked up underneath you. And then you can let your branches grow wherever it feels right for you. So take another couple of breaths. And you can find a non-moving focal point for your gaze. It'll help your balance. And then using your bandhas, guide the leg back and down. Now you might like to roll through the ankle that you were standing on. Shake it out a little bit. And then reset your roots. A little engagement in the belly. And then when you're ready, still keeping your hips stable. So we're not going to dump out into your right hip. So we're going to inhale your left leg or your foot, maybe just your heel. Find your option. If it's available, let it open and connect. And sometimes life experiences mean that we have joint challenges, like maybe certain, like a knee might not like a lot of compression or bending. And if that's the case, then you honor that. You don't have to do your pose in such a way that it looks exactly like mine and then it compromises your health and your well-being. So honor your body. I will often always offer you options. You choose the one that fits you where you're at today. So you would be better served in a kickstand with the toes down, the hip engaged, and the body tall than compromising your hip just to bring your foot up higher. Okay. Whoop. So let's take another couple of breaths. Make sure your branches have blossomed and grown where you would like them to be. And then we'll inhale back to the front and down. I already did a leg workout today and they're pretty weary. All right, streak out your legs. Big inhale, float all the way up. Hinge from your hip creases to fold your body over. Inhale for your flat back. And then exhale down to your knees. And bring the feet over to the side as you guide your body back down. And join me, if you will, for an easy seat. Or you can sit back up on a prop like we started our practice with. Take any little shifts and wiggles on the board of your sitting bones. Take a few natural breaths. Remember, every day shapes us. Every habit that we continue with shapes us, shapes who we are. So if we want to become more calm, more confident, more rested, these are qualities that we can definitely develop. We have to prioritize them. If we continue to stay in a state of busyness, of worry, of anxiousness, of frustration, of whatever that is not serving us well, that is our habit, that's our default. Not to fault you, me, or anybody else. That's who we are. We're human beings. But we can change our habits, but it does take effort. And so we have to be very focused and we have to come back to the habits that we want to manifest more of by practicing them, right? So then I encourage you, if you will, go ahead and place one hand over heart, one over belly. Reconnect with your natural breath. Think about the qualities that you would like to manifest more of, who you would like to, how you would like to become more of who you are here to be. And let each exhale be a letting go of the old, the past, of anything which does not serve you in your goals and your aspirations. And remember that your body is a tool, just like your breath, it's a tool. And your body will learn through the repetitions, just like our minds learn through repetition. So choose the repetitions that you want to manifest more of. Remember, calm is a practice. It is not a personality trait, and you can definitely have more of it. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.